this one more time. I saw the Barbie movie, and it was just sad. The saddest movie I've ever seen. And by that I mean it makes you feel bad and sad for everybody. Because it makes men and women look really stupid. Especially the women. I mean, I figure that's the reason they made the two main dolls blonde, to show how stupid everybody is. And the thing that makes no sense to me is why Barbie ended up becoming human by the end of the movie when she was doing everything in her power to not become human. That she wanted everything to be happy and what have you, or be in charge of the little fake world where she's in love with her brother. And if you didn't know that, Barbie and Ken are brother and sister. That was the original purpose of their creation because they're named after the woman's son and daughter. But everyone did not know that when the dolls came out. And the little rants the girl goes on about the creation of Barbie had nothing to do with the real Barbie. She was only created because little girls didn't have any dolls to play with. They just had paper cutouts of girls. So she decided to make a real doll based on a prostitute doll from a different country. And you could learn this from The Toys That Made Us because they talk about that in that show, little mini documentary thing. And so there's that. And the lady started off with, I think, wives and mothers dolls, but then expanded to careers so that girls could know that they can be more than just mothers and wives. And that whole thing that happened when they go into the real world, where the guy slaps her ass out of nowhere, that would not happen in real life unless it was like your boyfriend or someone you knew closely, not just some random stranger. Especially if you're standing next to a man, it's less likely to happen. And even then, he would probably attack the guy or fight back or say something, not just let it happen for no reason. And the catcalling thing with the construction workers, like, that's a little exaggerated, assuming it ever actually happened. But I did hear that it happened, or it used to happen a lot, but then they made rules so then they can't do that or else they get in trouble for it. And even if it does happen now, it's probably very rare. And whoever created this movie did not know much about dolls and humans because the only good movie I've ever seen with a doll coming to life is Life Size, starring Tyra Banks and I believe Lindsay Lohan, but I'm not really sure because I haven't seen that movie in a while. But that movie, Life Size, had a moral to the story, and love, and growing into a bigger person, a better person, a version of yourself. In that movie, the daughter has no mother because she died when she was young, and she's being raised by her single father, so she tries to bring her mother back to life with some magic, which is the only explanation for a doll coming to life in general. Plus the fact that they know they're dolls, and they know where they come from. In Barbie, she didn't really seem to know it at first, and then randomly came upon this information later, which makes no sense whatsoever. And the only doll that seemed human-like was Weird Barbie, and the only part that was even remotely funny was when she scared Barbie, with the little globe or whatever that was. So yeah, and then the mother and daughter having no issues, trying to make it an issue in the movie when it's just regular problems that teens go through when they're going through puberty. And it seemed for the most part that the mother was a single mom, because they didn't really reference the father other than that little part in the beginning, near the beginning or middle of the movie. And then he showed up at the end randomly. So he was just like a prop. Just like Ken is to Barbie. She doesn't seem to care about him in general, even though they're supposed to be boyfriend and girlfriend, which is gross again. So there's that. But everything in this movie is exaggerated and just sad. And just makes me sad for the world. Because if this is the way the woman who created this movie sees everything, then she must think both men and women are stupid and do not need each other. And men are not more powerful than women. They are both equal. Not physically, but in other ways. Because doesn't anyone remember that phrase?
A few moments later.
Great man, there's a woman. Like, where do you think that phrase came from? Like, it didn't just pop up out of thin air. Like, somebody must have realized that they help and they change things. Not by using a man, but by working beside him, but they're not acknowledged in the way they would like to be. But I guess people will leave that part out conveniently, like they did with the creation of Barbie and the purpose and all that other stuff. But that's the sad part of this movie. It just makes everyone look terrible. It just makes you feel bad. So I don't know why anyone would like this movie when it just makes you think that everyone is stupid and there's nothing you can do about it. Because by the end, she does go in the real world, but she has not changed at all. And she still looks like she's dumb. She acts like it, too. And, when the creators of dolls are involved in the movies, like this movie, like let's say Small Soldiers, right? They only came in to the picture because something was going wrong and they were trying to fix it. And then the kid already was trying to control them because in every doll-related action figure movie, the doll knows and then the kid controls the doll. But when that's no longer a possibility, then that's when the creators come in. But in this movie, that's not what happened. There was just a bunch of mumbo-jumbo that they were talking about. It made no sense whatsoever. Yeah, so I don't see this movie as a good movie or a bad movie with any of the characters because everyone was made to look like an idiot. And that was the part that made me sad, is that this is supposed to be some kind of feminist movie, which I don't think it is, because I think in some kind of weird irony, she actually made everyone dumb. And I don't know if that was on purpose or an accident. And I've heard that people consider this a satire, which I don't understand why. It's not funny. It's not hilarious. There's no jokes in it whatsoever. It's just depressing. That's the word. It's a depressing movie. Because it makes you think that some people view us, women and men, as idiots. So that's not something I would recommend you watch. What I would recommend you check out is Life Size, because that one has a moral, and it actually is more of a feel-good movie. Although I haven't seen it in years, but I do remember that it actually had a story. And I cannot remember how it ended. I should really rewatch it. But I do know that it is way better than this movie. This movie is not even good, so I don't know why it was so popular. But, I figure it's just to push things ahead that are terrible ideas instead of getting back to where people actually respected each other. Because this movie is just trying to tear people apart. Then again, like I said, if you haven't realized it or really paid attention, it's making everyone look stupid. Not just the men, but the women. They're actually dumber than the men in this movie. Which, I don't know if anyone's pointed that out. Because any video I've watched about this movie before seeing it, they didn't really say anything like that. They were just saying that the men were dumb. But I mean, the women were stupid too. They were all like savants. They were all dumb, saying dumb things, and then randomly said something smart, or just used really smart words, like the educated kind. But they're stupid throughout the whole movie. That's the part that's sad too, like I said. Because if this is supposed to be a reflection of reality, then we're all dumb. Not just you, but me too. Like, okay, no, you cannot take this movie seriously. It's horrible. It just makes everyone stupid. And I know I keep repeating myself with that, but that's the part that really bothered me. Because it just makes you feel bad. Like, as a human. So I don't know why. I just hope they don't make this movie again. Because it's not for kids, it's not for adults, it's not for anyone. It has no audience. Not really. Just the people that like it for some reason. But it's a really depressing movie. It's, again, I heard also that it is a reflection of the world. But if that's the case, then everybody's an idiot. But no, that's not reality. People are not stupid. I know smart men, and I know smart women. And that doesn't always mean intelligence. Like, seriously. There's that whole phrase where just because you have a degree doesn't make you smart. Sometimes you are a moron. I would say, like, the character Sheldon from Big Bang Theory, like, he's smart, but socially, he's dumb. And this movie has sort of that kind of thing going on, except in reverse. People are stupid and occasionally smart. So that's that biggest issue I have with that too, because that's not real life. People are not dumb on a day-to-day basis, not to that extent. Again, it's a very depressing movie. Like, it's just making you think, like, who would make this? Who would approve such a movie? Why don't they just stick to real Barbie movies where they're all cute and can eat real food and drink real drinks, unlike in this movie? Because in fantasy lands, the food is imaginary, sure, but it's still there, because it would be toy food or toy drinks, but it would exist. That's another thing I have with this movie, that it didn't make any sense, because they weren't able to eat or drink anything, even though they should be, because they're in Fantasyland. But yeah, it's just I don't know, it's a horrible reflection on reality, because it's not reality whatsoever, even though some people want to say that it is. It's actually just poking fun at women and men, just making everybody look bad. But it's not reality. It's not reflecting reality whatsoever. It's just this person's distorted view of reality is what the movie is. So I would not pay attention to it whatsoever, other than to point out what's wrong with it, which is basically everything. Again, I recommend Life Size. I don't know how to end this.